Welcome to Big Daddy Storytime. We're reading The Berenstain Bears and The Bad Influence. When new friends get together to have a little fun, the result can spell trouble for nearly everyone. One Saturday morning, Sister Bear came home looking like a storm cloud. She stomped up the front steps, through the house, and into the kitchen. I'm never going to visit. I'm never going to speak to that Lizzie Burn again, she declared. Oh, dear, said Mamma. Lizzie must have done something pretty terrible. That's right, said Sister. She invited me over to play Barbies. It was supposed to be just the two of us, but when I got there, Anna, Muffy, and Jill were already there with their Barbie dolls, and there wasn't any room for mine. But, dear, said Mamma, it seems to me that you can't have too many friends. Yes, said Sister, but Lizzie was my best friend, and you can only have one best friend at a time. With that, she tossed her Barbie tote to Mamma and stomped back out. Moss, who was about Sister's age, was in just as bad a mood as Sister. Miranda was new in the neighborhood. She and her family had just moved in around the corner from the Bear family. Miranda didn't want to move. She was upset about it. She was upset about leaving her friends, her school, and her neighborhood. I know you're upset about moving, Miranda, said her mother, but your father was transferred to the Bear Town office and we had no choice. Now you don't now you don't Now why don't you go out and have a look at your new neighborhood? Maybe you'll like it. I'll go out and have a look at it, said Miranda, but I won't like it. Sister was sitting on her front steps when Miranda came along. Hello, said Miranda. Hello yourself, said Sister. I just moved in, said Miranda. What's it like here? It's not like anything, said Sister. It's just a place. Miranda looked around. It's kind of quiet, she said. I guess, said Sister. A little too quiet, said Miranda with a grin. Sister looked at the ground. Maybe it is, she said. Is that yours? Asked Miranda, pointing to Sister's bike, big trike. Yep, said Sister. Maybe we could go for a little spin, said Miranda. You could show me around. Sure, said Sister, mounting the tricycle. Hop on. Miranda climbed on the back. Okay, said Sister. Here we go. And off they went with Sister pedaling hard and Miranda hanging on for dear life. Good, said Mamma. Looking out the window. Sister has found a new friend. What's the matter with her old friends? Asked Papa, coming in from his shop for a cup of tea. Sister had a falling out with Lizzie Burner. Nothing serious, just the usual sort of cub spat, said Mama as she watched the trike whisk by. Any good heels around here? Asked Miranda, hugging Sister a little tighter as she pedaled on. Lots, said Sister, but Dead Bear's Hill is the best. Can we try it? Asked Miranda. Sure, said Sister. It's this way. I know a shortcut we could take. The trouble was that the shortcut was through Miss McGrizzle's tulips. Hi-yo, cow bear, cried Miranda. Yippee-yah-hee! Cried Sister. Miss Grizzle was inside watering her plants at the time and saw the whole thing from her window. "My tulips!" she cried. "My beautiful tulips! But one of those cubs looks like Sister. Well, I just might give her mother a call." Dead Bear's Hill was very high. Sister hesitated at the top. "That's Farmer Ben's place down there," she said. "I know," said Miranda. "We bought some vegetables from him this morning." Well, what?" said Sister. "Are we going down Dead Bear's Hill or not?" asked Miranda. "I've gone down on a sled lots of times," said Sister, "but I've never gone down on wheels." "There's always got to be a first time," said Miranda. "Okay," said Sister, taking her feet off the pedals. "Here we go." The trouble was that there was a curve at the bottom of Dead Bear's Hill, and they didn't quite make it. They rode into Farmer Ben's orchard and into one of his apple trees. They knocked down quite a few apples. "Are you hurt?" asked Miranda. "I don't think so," said Sister. "Hey, these look like pretty nice apples," said Miranda. We're supposed to stay away from Farmer Ben's apples," said Sister. "But since these are already on the ground, they're just rotten. They'll just rot," said Miranda. They scooped up some of the apples and put them in their pockets. "Hey, how about you pedal for a while?" said Sister. "Fine with me," said Miranda. And off they rode, munching apples. Farmer Ben was feeding his chickens at the time. He didn't know how it happened. All he saw were cubs loading up on his apples. "Why, that's Sister Bear and that new cub. Well, their mothers are going to hear from me." "What's the big thing parked in the road?" asked Miranda, pedaling on Sister's direction. "That's Grizzly Gus's cement mixer," said Sister. "He must be doing some work. Maybe we can write our name in the wet cement," said Miranda. The trouble was that they were already riding through it. "Pedal harder!" cried Sister. "Steer for the woods!" Grizzly Gus was jumping up and down, waving his cement smoother. "That looks like Sister Bear and that new moss cub," said Grizzly Gus. He reached for his cell phone. "I know a way back. I know a back way home," said Sister. "But we'll have to cross Mud Creek on these stepping stones." But the stepping stones were for stepping, not riding. They fell in. It wasn't deep, but it sure was muddy. They pulled themselves out and headed for home. All in all, it had been quite a Saturday morning. The phone in the tree house, the phones in the tree house and Mossy's house were ringing off the hook. "Miss McGrill, this is Mama Bear. Sister and the other cub, they're your tulips?" "Oh dear. I think I know what's going on. I'll certainly deal with it. Thank you for your call." "Well," said Mama, turning to Papa, I was pleased when Sister found a new friend, but it's pretty clear that this new friend is a bad influence." Meanwhile, over at Moss's house, Mrs. Moss was on the phone with Farmer Ben. Miranda and a cub named Sister stole your apples? Oh, dear. I think I know what's going on, and I'll certainly take care of it. Well, said Mrs. Moss, turning to Mr. Moss, Miranda seems to have found a new friend, but unfortunately, this new friend is a very bad influence. At the tree house, Mama Bear answered the phone again. Yes, Gus, this is Mama Bear. Rode through your wet cement? Sister and another cub? How awful. I'm truly sorry, Gus. But I think I know what's going on, and I'll certainly deal with it. And to Papa she added, that new cub is an even worse influence than I thought. Sister's not to have anything more to do with her. Mrs. Moss was just as upset about Sister as Mama was about Miranda. I gather this new cub is a cub named Sister, said Mrs. Moss. I'm going to call and complain to her mother. Now, I wouldn't do that, my dear, cautioned Mr. Moss, not until, but Mrs. Moss had placed the call. She said, the line's busy. It was busy because Mama was trying to call Mrs. Moss to complain about Miranda. Just then, Sister came in the front door. My goodness, said Mama, you're a mess. Yeah, we fell into Mud Creek trying to ride across, but it's just mud. It'll come off, said Sister with a grin. You certainly seem a lot happier, said Mama. That's because I have a new friend. I have a new best friend, said Sister. Her name is Miranda. That's something I want to talk to you about, dear, said Mama. You and this Miranda seem to have been having quite a time. I have had a number of angry calls this morning. I'm afraid that Miranda is what you call a bad influence, and I don't want you playing with her anymore. That's not fair, protested Sister. It was my fault, too. I was just as much a bad influence on her as she was on me. Besides, you don't get in trouble we didn't get in trouble on purpose. It was kind of an accident. Well, you two are going to have to make things right with your neighbors, explained Mama. Sister and Miranda had a very busy afternoon. After planting some new bulbs in Mrs. McGrill's tulip patch, they stopped by and explained about the apples to Farmer Ben. Then they apologized to Mr. Grizzly Gus for messing up his new cement. He was very nice about it. He even let them write their initials in the corner of the smoothed out cement. The next day, Sister not only made up with Lizzie, Anna, Muffy, and Jill, she introduced Miranda to the gang. After all, it was just as Mama said, you can't have too many friends. What we learned here is influences are important. Thank you for viewing. Stay tuned for more videos on Big Daddy Storytime. Be blessed. Bye-bye.